Or does anybody have a safety share? Preferably heat related? Safety share? Anybody? Go ahead, Trevor.
It's not heat related though.
Dang it.
It's wasp related. On my wooden fence, some no good wasps were building a nest. I didn't realize it, and they were aggressive. And I still got a big sore on my back. Wasps, they can sting more than once. Unlike other types of bees, their stingers stay in. And if they don't like you, they'll sting you more than once, as I can attest. And regular bug killer doesn't always kill them. I had to go and find a special wasp spray that killed them instantly.
Super duper wasp spray.
Exactly. So watch out for the wasps. They're no good.
All right, so everybody had a chance to sign in. There's some free giveaways back there. Please take those if you feel like you would benefit from those. One of them is a golf tee. I only have a couple of the divot repair tools / beverage opener. You make, if it's an adult beverage, that's fine too. And then there's a little tool over there. It's got a flashlight and it's spring loaded on the back. Plus, it's got some screwdrivers sitting there. So, is there anybody new to the Wake UCC that hadn't been here before? Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Eric Bojamp. I work for J.F. Wilkerson Contracting. I'm the coordinator. So it's for the new locates, dispatch, a bunch of different things.
Okay, thank you. Anybody online who was new to the meeting? Yeah, everybody looks like they're old school here. All right, so I'm going to do my presentation, and when I get to the top 10 callers, we're going to look at the folks who are top 10. So when it comes around to you to talk about the projects you got going on, if you're a top 10 caller, surely you got to say, I don't have any issues. You're going to say, hey, this is what we got going on because we have so many locates, right? Especially if you're number one position on top 10 caller tickets. Just say, all right. So here we go. Welcome to the Wake UCC for June. The Excavator Safety Day is taking place tomorrow. That's going to be at Piedmont Natural Gas Facility, Greengate Drive in Greensboro, North Carolina. 811 will be participating in that as well. That does start at 8 a.m. So I think the sign-in for that is going to be at 8. They're going to kick off the presentations at 8:30. The North Carolina UCC meetings is going to take place Charlotte Water, and that is going to be July 8th. That does start at 10. If you can't physically be there, again, chairs, co-chairs, you can always join online via the team, just like these fine folks who are online today. And the board meeting is going to be July 18th. That's going to be in Asheville, Crown Plaza Resort. That does start at 8:30 as well. So did anybody go to the joint UCC this year? Anybody? Was it fairly well? Okay.
Best one ever.
Best one ever, what I heard.
Hey,
So, because of that, we have a
Cherokee
video.
was first place, but now it's in second place.
I'm sorry?
Said Cherokee, the last one was the best, but now it's second.
Okay.
Wilmington, that's first place now. Best conference ever.
And I'll tell you, that really was a good conference. I've been to a lot of them that weren't really worth the time, but that was a good conference this last time.
Sorry, I forgot to share my sound with you folks. I want to stop sharing again because I didn't share the right thing. The correct screen. All right. So moving right along, we do have a video, kind of a roll-up of the conference. And if it's too loud when it first starts, I apologize. I'll go ahead and turn it down here in a second. I'll give you a quick tutorial on themes. If you turn on the laser pointer, you can't grab anything after that, so, yeah. Sorry for the stuff being in the middle, and I still can't grab anything. I didn't want to stop it again. It messes up. Let me grab that thing and pull it out of the way. I'm not throwing you folks away. Put you right here. Okay. Tailgate wraps. Before we move on, would anybody like to talk about, I know you said it was great, what made it great about the joint UCC? I mean, did you enjoy it, the speakers?
That was the first time I've been, helping Sandra out and everything.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty
All right, so the bar has been set for you. If South Carolina doesn't deliver next year, you can poo-poo, right? Anybody else? Court? You went?
Well, it's just the location, just amazing, beautiful place to be. Food was great, the networking opportunities, the vendors, the speakers. I mean, the whole event was, like I said, me and Sandra, we've been talking, that was 42. And we're trying to decide, was it 11 or 12 was our first one that we ever went to. So we've been going to it for 30 plus years. And we both agreed it's probably the best one we've been to. And it's really good conference, it's a good opportunity to go.
So I heard the same thing earlier that somebody said that there's a lot of good speakers there. If you like the speaker presentation, it's not the PowerPoint, but the PDF is available on the NCUCC website. Go up to the top, Joint UCC, click on it, scroll down to the bottom. You'll have to download it as PDF. The only one that's not there is Missy's from South Carolina. We didn't grab her because it's really kind of irrelevant for the state of North Carolina. But everybody else is in the PDF. The storm damage, the things that folks went through to restore the facilities in Western North Carolina. Great PowerPoint on that. I downloaded it, looked at it the other day. So I encourage you, if you didn't get a chance to go, some of the great speakers, their presentations are there. Tailgate wrap. So I'm not sure, when we talked about this, we had 20 of them. I know 2 of them were spoken for probably about 2 days afterwards. So I'm going to say we probably have 8 or 10 of these left. If you would like one, please scan the QR code. Once you populate that information, whichever liaison that you're in that area will reach out to you and say, hey, congratulations, pick your vendor. We'll send the vendor the package. It's got the tailgate, the graphics package for the tailgate. Your information goes on the bottom left here, so we're not going to leave you hanging out to dry. But we want the 811 message on a vehicle that's going to be out there 3 to 5 years, and we bumped the cost up. Does anybody know what we initially was paying for a tailgate wrap? $225. We bumped it up to $300. Yep. So we realized that since we've been doing this, costs have increased, and we're willing to help folks who want those graphics on their vehicle. Again, we're willing to pay that cost. Okay. Any questions on the tailgate wrap? All right, cool. So, land development 101, rough grading and steel excavating, right? We got folks who are out in the middle of nowhere. They don't think there's a utility around there. It could be transmission line, whether it's liquid or gas. And a lot of times telecom go through some areas. If somebody looks, they can usually see the right-of-way's been cleared and maintained. But if somebody purchased that without doing their due diligence to find out that there is a utility on there, and they go ripping through there, knocking trees down and then cutting and filling, doing all kind of crazy stuff, there's potential to damage that. So we put that in there just as a reminder that to the folks who are building these subdivisions off of some of the raw land, just to make sure they call 811. It's cheap insurance, and yeah, I mean, we highly recommend it. Any questions or comments on that? All right, so we're looking at 263,000 locate requests that were called last month versus May 24. That's just shy of a 7% increase in the ticket volume. So the volume is not going down across the state of North Carolina. 1.2 million equals a 8.1% increase year to date. 1.3 million transmissions last month is a 4.8% increase over May of last year. And year-to-date, 6.7, that's not even 6 months, folks, 6.7% increase over this time last year, 6.7% increase. So again, ticket volume's going up. I just saw an article the other day that the governor, Josh Stein, has said I think there's $25 million more for broadband, Wi-Fi, infrastructure that are going on. And there was, most of the counties were mine. I think Wake was one of them, Harnett, Johnston, Halifax, Northampton, all over the place. So again, they're going to dump some more money, $25 million into that to get some fiber to some folks out in rural areas. Wait, the 3-hour actually decreased about 38% the last month. The new tickets went down as well, just shy of 1%. You guys are negative across the board except for your cancellation. So we like the cancellation, right? If you call one in and say, oh, I'm not going to do it, cancel that thing before that ticket matures. That way the folks who are paying to have that located either externally or internally don't have to spend that money for those folks to go out and do it, right? The locators can actually go out and take their time and do good, accurate locates somewhere else. You still average locates per day 1,241, which is still a lot. Looking at the year-to-date, the 3-hour continues to decrease, just shy of 5%, but your new tickets for the year-to-date, 2.9% increase over this time last year. And then again, your ticket updates, 2% increase. Average locate per day year-to-date, that's January to the end of last month, 1,392. Out of the 27,306, you can see your callers here: Apex, Cary, Pequay, Varina, Garner, Holly Springs, Knightdale, Raleigh, Wake Forest, and Wendell. And everybody's favorite top 10 callers. If you're in the room, please let us know some projects that you have going on. ITS, top caller. AT&T Utility, second. Prince Telecom, third. Anybody else here on the list that's actually at the meeting today, either online or in the room? Nope. Okay. And then damages across state of North Carolina. Wake came in again at the top one, 158. I know some folks like to know what Mecklenburg come out. They come out at 151.
Want to hear about that?
So they saw what we had and they underreported their damages again. That's what I'm going with anyway.
You know, we have a friendly competition between Mac and Wake. You know, I attend their meeting as well. And, you know, we ain't been doing so good. Last year we smoked them, but, you know, we're not doing real good this year.
No, not doing good this year at all. So your damages per 1,000 transmission off the heat map, you're actually in the yellow. And the damages that reported across the state last month, we had 1,209. So has anybody been to the CGA in the last year or two? I went, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and they were talking about 50 and 5, so they want to reduce the damages by 50% in 5 years. And if we keep doing like this, we're going in the opposite direction. The only month that was actually down again was February. All right, here's a great one right here. Does anybody know when this law took effect that hadn't been in the meeting before?
2019.
2019, very good. October 2019. So everybody who has a utility out there is putting the size of that utility if it's greater than 4 inch, right? To me, it would behoove you to do that. Why? Well, if I got a 20-inch water line, the contractor has to divide that in half and add that 10 to that 24. Now that expands that tolerance zone, that safety buffer. Before they can bring mechanized equipment in there, they're supposed to spot that using hand tools or soft dig equipment. Why wouldn't you want that? If I don't put that I have a 20-inch water line on there, it goes to the outside of that paint mark, 24 inches. So if I'm off of my locate, the potential for you hitting that greatly expands if I don't put the size of that in there. Does that make sense? On the right, and that's got to be every 50 foot, right? Beginning to end, and there's 50 foot in between there. Need to put that on there. On the right, ABC Gas Company, that's the operator ID. That's who owns that facility. Most of the time, it's not a big deal if it's power, natural gas, something like that. But when you have 4 telecoms on the same side of the road, Google, Verizon, the hometown fiber spectrum, and somebody hits one, who do they call? Not Ghostbusters. They need to know who to report that damage to. And the only way they can do that is if everybody who's doing a locate is putting their operator ID on there. All right. Again, 2019, this when this law took effect, and still got people glazed over look. Really, we're not doing that. Yeah, we know, because people are reporting. They don't know when they hit a line who to call. So make sure you're doing that, please. Any questions or comments on that?
I'm glad that they don't do that. 'Cause
Moving right along.
Hey, no, because, for an example, I had one, I got 3 companies cleared the ticket at 20 and only 2 marks. Neither one of them was labeled. And I was arguing that the one that was damaged wasn't marked and the other 2 were, but there's no way to know.
So if you damage the facility, I guess you want to go that way. But the law says that you're supposed to put your
And that's what
operator ID on there.
And that's what I tell them. That's what the law says.
Yeah. right.
Hey, Parrish,
Yes.
do me one favor, a little bit different than the law. If you hit a natural gas line, call 911, call the gas company, and then your report of damage. Don't do your report of damage first.
Right.
Do it
So,
third.
That's a great point. So whether it's a gas line, liquid petroleum facility, or a high energy voltage, if you hit that, secure the scene, call 911 so they can help you secure the scene either with a fire truck or police presence there, and then report that damage to the utility owner. Thank you, Mark.
Well, because the law says immediately call NC 811. And I think that's getting people confused.
Yeah, but we always tell folks. So thank you for being an ambassador to that. I know Trevor's a great one as well. But make sure, because that is a dangerous product, right?
We just want to know, we don't want to have to wait to find out something happened.
All right.
Appreciate
read that
it.
on the news.
Sometimes.
Okay. All right, here we go. So there's a good-looking education team led by Miss Ann Rushing. They're actually meeting today, which is why they're not online. So calendar events, either the NCUCC. When's the last time somebody's been to the NCUCC calendar? Or in the website? Come on, Jeff, you're supposed to be raising your hand, man. I gave you $5 earlier. There you go.
That's
2 people. All right, 2 people. So I encourage folks to go check that out, local UCCs. If you volunteer to be the co-chair for this one, I'll put your picture up there with your information so people can hunt you up, run you down, reach out to you, make friends with you. They probably take you out and buy you lunch. Probably not sure. But again, that's how you can find out what's going on within the NCAA world. Not this past Saturday, but Saturday before that, we were in Shelby. They did a Sweet Safe Summer. We took the mini excavator there. So if you were out and about, didn't have anything to do, you want to take your kids somewhere, we had the mini X out there and letting kids ride it for free. It was on the calendar. Copy of this presentation along with the sign in. Please make sure if you're online that you're signing in. Everybody here is already signed in because they got my free stuff over there, and we're going to roll everything up and put it to the NCUCC website. All right? Any questions or comments about the presentation today? All right, so let's go around. Let's start with the online folks. Do you guys have any projects that you have going on out there? Any issues in the field with the locates? We got AP, AJ, you're on top, bro.
No comment, thank you.
You got, okay. All right, Mr. Markworth, I know you got some more to say.
Our damages are down, and I don't understand why. I was about to fuss about how Raleigh was up, but then I looked at the numbers and no, that's not true. And also our damages from no locate request are up across the state, but not in Raleigh.
So you can attribute that to Trevor?
That's right. He's the man.
Okay. All right. Thank you. King.
How we doing? No projects in Wake County right now for Luminate. All good on our side.
Okay, thank you for being with us today.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Webster.
Hey, no projects right now. Parrish, we spoke about 2 weeks ago. It's kind of a specific issue we've been having with some communities on some of the larger fiber installations, especially when they put in a bunch of tickets for like a development. We go out there and mark for our high pressure line, just with like landowners, property owners coming out and removing flags and other markings. We do our best to go and remark, but sometimes, if we'll go out and mark and then wait, coordinate with the contractor. It may be that week or 2 weeks before we get out there and do the work. And people are just removing stuff. They don't understand kind of severity. So we're looking at some options to maybe do like door hangings or something else to kind of get the word out to property owners when we do go out and locate to say, hey, leave this stuff out here so nothing gets damaged. But
So, Billy, another great thing is one of the contractors for the Piedmont Triad area he works for the gas company. They're actually putting our banners up in large subdivisions where they're having a lot of issues with locating. Maybe you folks could put one up that says if you see painted flags on the ground until the work is complete, please don't remove it. Maybe at the entrances of those subdivisions.
yeah, it's a good idea. That's kind of what the little door hangings we're looking at is going to have some similar information.
Yeah, well, the issue with some of the door hangers is they'll put it on the front, but people enter and exit from the back of the house and they never see it. Again, if you put it where people are driving, it's very visible every day. That may help. It's a force multiplier type thing, Billy.
Yeah, 10-4.
Hi, buddy. Mr. Eric.
No, nothing to share.
Nothing to share. All right, and we got Fred.
I'm good right now.
All right, moving around the room. Justice hasn't had his sandwich yet, so we're going to beat you up first before you get a mouthful.
I'm just excited about the new 811 bill coming out, being effective October the 1st. It's a good thing. A lot of work. It'll help excavators. I think it'll help give the locators more time to get their job done well. And that's what we all need, is paint on the ground and safe digging.
So starting, I foresee it next month, we're going to start educating folks on some of the law changes that's taking effect. It'll be in a presentation. So again, if you can't physically be here, please make sure you join online. So as we go over that, I'm sure we'll be doing it for the next 2 or 3 months. Reputation is a great teacher, right?
That's right. And, you just, unfortunately, fools learn by no other.
Yeah, so we still got this slide up here from 2019 about putting your size of your pipe, if it's greater than 4 inch, and your operator ID on the ground, because we still have folks who are not doing it.
That's correct. But as the landscape changes, everybody will change. That's a good thing.
Right.
Because we get better, we're getting worse.
Okay.
Everybody needs to get better.
On the ITS side, I guess we're doing our normal new construction and all of our regular stuff they're doing. I think one of the most aggravating jobs we got going on right now is Chris Brooks' job on Rogers. Relocating for that new train, the high-speed rail, whatever. We're just having to relocate some gas lines.
Okay, wow. How much are you having to relocate?
It's not a lot, it's just where it's at.
Is it this distribution pressure?
Yeah.
2,700 feet of damage. Yeah, pretty good size pipe, yeah. Okay.
Hey, Parrish. Zach Carscott, City of Raleigh, Code Enforcement. I was actually in a wedding with somebody that works with Sunrock, and I was just talking to them, and they never heard of the UCC meetings, and so I invited them to come. Don't see them here today, but hopefully they'll be here next time. But especially with this new law coming out, you know, any contractors, anybody else that deals with locates and project supervisors and stuff, like, you know, just try to invite them, get them here, like Paris just made the website and everything else, because, I know the law isn't gonna be too drastic, but it does help, especially people that put in their locates, to be able to put them in ahead of time instead of to put the whole project in and just keep re-updating it. You know, we're gonna try to eliminate that, so, but if we could get them here and get them educated, especially with this new law, you know, get them and get everybody talking, that'd be good.
All right, thank you.
I don't have nothing.
Good.
You killed it, Gordon, you killed it.
Well,
Again, thanks for lunch again.
Yeah, well, yes, but I think some of you guys have concerns about some of the locates, they can't get located.
Okay.
We'll let them speak. We talked about ours earlier, about the saying there's fibers around that's not locatable. I don't think from 2025, I always do that.
Yeah, so talking to people, they're still installing some fiber that they can't locate because it puts off something and interferes with everybody's cathodic protection or vice versa, which messes with the signal in the ground from what I understand.
Well, we've had some jobs where AT&T put above ground fiber, below ground, and you can't locate the above ground fiber. You're buried.
What they're doing, the new fibers that, like most of them are putting in right now, are unlocatable.
Is it called dielectric?
Well, some is dielectric, but not all of them.
Okay.
They just don't, you know, some of them are just, because of the fiber type. But as far as, one we can locate, of course, is dielectric. And we have to send up an email to, get some.
That's being put in 2025. We're having to wait on tickets because they don't clear the tickets. And they don't come out and locate them.
Yeah, so, Court and I were talking about that this morning. If you do your 3 working days, check your pause response, do your 3 hour, legally you can dig with care, right? They're not gonna come out and locate it. They tell you the first 2 times that it's unlocatable. The only thing you can do is do your work with trying to minimize any damage that occurs to other utilities. If that says shovels, mini excavator, soft dig technology, I mean, whatever you can do to help, but sometimes if it's not locatable, you can't help but damage some facilities. But again, a good, timely, accurate locate is always the first line of defense in protecting that utility. Got your belly full, you're just happy to be here now.
Well, I'm sure Larry's got some stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Robert talk.
I digress. Yeah.
James is talking about with the project in Wake Forest, the thing that we come in, whether it's true or not, like we'll call these in, and then you leave it for 3 hour, and it seems to be like Spectrum and Brightspeed, which Brightspeed is S&N in that area. And then Spectrum is by USIC, but then, and this is, it's talking to the actual locator, he's saying that they have an AI system that assigns it. And, you know, he was showing me on his side, it looked like it was assigned to another locator instead of them. So what he's telling me is like their management or whatever is telling them, well, don't do it. And that's great, and I get it, but, you know, you don't want to cut nothing, but then even if you cut it, you end up cutting it again. I mean, like we were literally standing right next to the vault, we was gonna be digging 2 foot off of this vault in Spectrum. You can open it up and see fibers in there. And I mean, that's the thing, we don't want to take out the whole town of Wake Forest. You know, huge fibers, but it's just, you know, it's not even a response of we can't locate it or you just get enough of it.
So you're saying the locator who's there doing some locates and hadn't been assigned that particular ticket to do some more locates?
That's what he shows in his telling me. You know, and I've had it happen on a couple of projects.
AI distributing tickets out?
Yeah, I clears the tickets.
I can hit that for you. So what happens behind the scenes is tickets get screened. Okay? Charter screens their tickets, Charter Spectrum, and they don't see anything on the print, even though it may be physically there. They don't add that code. So if that code is not added, then we're not able to mark it.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
Does that happen a lot with the new installs? It's been installed, but the GIS system hasn't been updated yet to show that it's in the ground.
Well, then how would you rectify that so someone would locate it so you don't tear up an active facility?
The only thing you can do is call back to 811 and say, hey, we got a charter spectrum line out here, we need to have charter added. Now, at that point, I'm not sure how it works in the 811 system, if you guys notify charter, or if since charter never put it in, what do you do on that? I'm not sure.
That'd be a retransmit thing. So initially, who does it go out to? Does it go out to charter?
What they do, they see it in
They're
screen.
scrubbing
Yeah.
Okay.
So at
They're
that
taking,
point,
they're taking you locators off of there.
yes,
But if they see something that's freshly installed,
yes.
you're asking them to call in 3 hours, say, look, I know that these guys didn't come out and locate, but there's a freshly installed line here that they don't have on their map yet.
There's locators out there, you've already located stuff. You just go, oh, well, I don't have this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it.
He doesn't have it on his locate ticket, the locate.
So he can't.
He can't. So here's the other part of that. We can't have locates added, because now we're jeopardizing between our customer and us, saying that we're just having stuff added, and they're paying for something that they don't really know they have. So we can't physically add it, but the contractors can have it added. And then we can come or do it right on site and get it done while we're there. But as long as that code is not on there, we cannot touch that line.
Yeah, no, I get that, but then normally, like, you can do a 3-hour ticket. So then you sit there waiting, and then you might get a response or not. But, you know, I've had a work with a lot, it'd be like it's not shut on there. Then you have to, then what you're saying, I have to call back to 811, and I have to tell them, well, I don't know if it's active or not. I mean, I don't know.
Well, how do you know what it is?
Well, I mean, we sit right next to a vault, we have a vault, we see fire. I mean, it's part of where stuff has been moved, so I don't know if it's active yet or not. You know, and, I mean, yeah, we are technically in the clear, but also, you know, we're gonna hit it here, and ain't gonna tell them where it's gonna be, 2,700 feet down the road. It's just somebody try to, yeah, so that's the thing, like, if you call them and then, I mean, I hate saying it, but we can sit around and wait 2 or 3 days. It's just a matter of nobody responds to it a lot of times. I got another guy this morning I called, we did 3 hours, didn't see nobody. That was always a new power.
What is the positive response then?
Positive response, they'll say, was not marked. Or then someone will say it's clear.
It'll show you like what the locates put 30, 60, 50.
So if it's getting flagged or not transmitted.
Well, there's no payment. I mean, that's the main thing we get out of it. But then even like this one, it's charged communication. That's what this is back in 620, which it was supposed to be on 621. Monday we got out there, and I mean, we did 3 hours yesterday and waited. And soft dig, and then this morning still nobody, and, you know, so you keep reliving it.
Is it charter? That's the only thing.
Well, it's charter on this one. I mean, it's also Duke Power, AT&T. Yeah, they both said they hadn't responded.
I'll put out I'll probably give it to you and Sandra on a list of the supervisors that handle each area.
Yeah.
And at that point, you guys can contact that supervisor if you're not getting results. And then if you're still not getting results, then you can contact me.
Because a lot of that is new construction. I mean, we're in there, I mean, it's new construction, bad in townhomes. So, I mean, y'all might not be turned on yet or not.
And what I found is sometimes they'll abandon one and then go back and re-energize it at a later date. Fiber.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody scrubs, you know, they think they know where their stuff is, and they say, well, I don't have anything there, so they scrub the ticket.
Right. All right, that it?
Yeah. Just when you do call in, some utilities, they take a while to, I guess whatever they do when their customers come out and fix it. They want rights be 5 days.
We called it in, as soon as the damage occurred, it wasn't marked. We called it in that day, it was probably 6 or 7 days before someone, and I actually called the head, one of the head people of Brightspeed. He had a crew come out, they looked at it, and instead of running a temporary drop or something, they just will be back. And they were supposed to be back the next morning at 9. It was the time, and they never came back. It was like 6 days later, you got 25 houses with no internet, people working from home, and it was like.
They all mad at us.
And they're looking at you, yeah, because you tore it up.
And it's mainly with Brightspeed that we run into this with, unfortunately. I mean, I've got 2 other issues with Brightspeed right now, my jobs.
So Brian Morehouse is with Brightspeed. He's changed jobs, but he's always a good contact. If you like his contact information, he's right here. So you can always write it up and reach out to him and tell him you're having issues. He can turn you on to the right person that you need to contact.
He's with Brightspeed now.
He's with S&M.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Mr. Embridge?
Got a project going on with Lane. They're doing Western, Blue Ridge, Hillsborough Street. High pressure station on Cheney is supposed to be getting moved because they're supposed to be building a sidewalk going up and down Western.
So you're just moving it back away from the road? Or you got to move it north or south?
All the way down Cheney is supposed to get graded, so I don't know where they're moving it to, but it's supposed to get, I guess, roads up. And, what else I got? The bridge on Hillsborough Street should be done in a couple months. I think they just tied that line back in. Whole bunch of lanes. Oh yeah, Kyle Drive supposed to be getting done. With the Kyle Drive in Burrow, Tennessee. And some townhomes are going up across the fairgrounds, and they're supposed to kill the service to the lumberyard. I think that's the only one that has a high pressure service on it still. That's the area.
All right, you have anything else to add?
That's it.
Okay. Moving on to the right. Come on now. Jeff's got something for us.
Well, Jones talked about all of our projects that we have going on locally, so I really don't have much to add.
He stole your thunder, right?
Good job, Jones.
Bullet comment, end of your review right there. Yep.
I'm good.
I'm good. We've got a few projects going on, but luckily we're doing a lot of outfall work right now. What are we doing? Probably about 16,000 feet of 65-inch sewer along the Neuse River Greenway Trail. So we don't have much going on out there as far as locates. Call them in anyway, just in case somebody's got something out there, obviously. We've got a small project going on down, what would that be, kind of sort of behind Wake Med. It's Glenbrook and Dacian area off of, is that MLK down there? But everything's working out pretty well down there so far. Not having any issues. Typically, the issues that I do run into, whether it be Wake or Durham County, is going to be with Verizon or Segra, fiber. They love to let their tickets, well, let their updates come out before they decide to go out and locate anything, but it's turning into the scrub situation where they don't consider it's a high enough profile facility to get somebody out there to locate it, and they'll send it to send them someplace with a bigger population, more service.
Okay. Thank you. And Sandy, you have anything for the group?
Well, I was going to say, if you can make the state UCC in Charlotte on the 8th, that would be a good meeting to go to. We're going to elect new officers. Lindsay Pons will roll off as chairperson, and Sean Kelly will step up, and Eric will be the co-chair. I have let them know that I'm going to resign as the treasurer. I've been treasurer since 2007, so it's time for someone else to do this. So they'll be voting on that also. So if anyone's in the area, they can go up there. I think it's going to be a good meeting.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
I had a nice meeting with Duke Power. They invited me out to speak with their field personnel. I've got had a meeting last Thursday, another one this Thursday. But just to remind folks that I am available. It's free, and I'll help educate your field personnel all about our gas system and how to avoid hitting gas lines and 811 law. So If you haven't already, if you feel like your field personnel would benefit from some reminders, please let me know.
You're gonna do larger groups or you'll do tailgate talks, right?
I'll do tailgate talks. I'm happy to come out to the field. 3, 4 guys, I'll come out there.
Right, okay. All right, we got our backroom gang. All right. You're good? All right. So anybody online again? You guys good? All right, next meeting is gonna be next month. You sure can. I'd be mad if you didn't.
Number one, am I picking up that when these tickets are scrubbed, AI is scrubbing them by the number of affected customers and a potential hit?
That's my understanding.
What code are they putting in, 10? No conflict?
This time, it'll either put, no response or.
I think 32 is, yeah.
Wow.
No conflict, that'll work.
I mean, we're free, but if we go tear stuff up, look at us.
Yeah, you do your due diligence, you look around, you know there's something.
We try not to
So
do
then
that.
you spend half a day
Yeah,
trying to find it.
we'll see that something's there, and we don't, and it's easy to say not to do it, but, and just go, but we're the ones that when something gets hit, everybody's coming outside screaming at us. So we're trying to avoid that, so I'll make some extra phone calls and get someone out here and say, look, it says no conflict, but I can see transformers, I can see pedestals, we need to get someone out here and watch
There's no
this.
conflict, but then when you call a 3-hour, how come your guys are not seeing?
If it's a code that's been scrubbed,
What's that code?
It
well,
doesn't,
it
tends
depends
to
on
go
the
back to them,
customer.
because they don't
It's
see
the
it.
customer.
They never saw it the first time, so they're not gonna
Yeah,
see
so we
it.
never saw it.
That doesn't really make sense.
So, yeah, so even if it says no conflict, but there's obviously conflict, I'll take a couple extra steps on a few phone calls to keep people from coming outside trying to, shoot us. Because people get mad quick when you start cutting stuff. Whether it's marked or not, we're the ones out there doing it, so we get beat up real hard. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of people work from home still.
Yes, yes.
Like he said earlier, with the rural areas, it becomes a priority issue, it seems like. I mean, we had, 26 people that were without internet for 6 days. and we got
Yeah.
There's still some of the
people working
bills
from
that get
home. I
sent.
mean, come on.
Talk about that.
Anything else, Justin?
Yeah,
Still good bills, still good
I got one or two things.
All right.
Number one, on electronically locatable facilities, that's a direct violation of the general statutes today and going forward, because it says all facilities installed on behalf of the operator's on or after the effective date of this article, this is 2019, shall be electronically locatable using locate methods that are generally accepted by operators in the particular industry or trade in which the operator is engaged. So, if you're putting in underground fiber that's not electronically locatable and you whack it, shame on them.
We can screenshot that.
You know.
So that's email.
That sounds like
What is that law?
Now, who enforces it?
Well, nobody enforces it. But what it is it's the law that allows us to insulate ourselves from the claim portion of it.
In court,
That's, unfortunately, I don't think a little old Justice writing a letter to Mr. Google is gonna make that happen.
Does Parish have that ability, or does 811 have that ability to enforce that on the people that are purposely putting in illegal fiber?
There is no way to enforce that.
Okay.
But what it does is it insulates our liability from Wayne. That's what it's in there for. Same thing as the 3-hour locate. The reason we put the 3-hour locate in there originally was because it's the right thing to do. It's just like you, when you see a facility, it's the right thing to do. You call in a 3-hour locate. If they still say there's nothing there, in the new law, it has brought clarity to proceed after that fact with due care. So we hope that this will be some relief. But here again, facilities install facility is supposed to be electronically locatable. And 3-hour locate is for the excavator that has that potential damage to whack 26 people out of service. It's to give the operator, hey, something's wrong. You need to come out here next 3 hours and figure this out.
Chris, is that project new construction or existing?
No, Rogers Road is existing.
Existing, so why would that not show up in GIS?
Because they moved the spec, they moved every utility.
Yeah.
So some of those utilities were relocated.
But the old stuff was taken out and the new stuff wasn't there?
Well, a lot of times they won't take the old stuff out, so you'll get out there, and there'll be a set of, presumably still active, and then the new set, but you don't know if they've done the cut over yet, the switch over.
If they had an existing facility and retired and the new one,
Yes.
that shouldn't get
I mean, the
scrapped.
problem with that though is like, I don't know if it's active yet or not, but it's,
I
you're
don't think
standing
it
next
should be
to a
up to us
post.
to go back after call in and add charter to a ticket.
Yeah.
That's not our, I mean, that's what they do for.
So I mean, I can understand AI doing it the first time. Then
When you
it's
call
called
3
back.
hours, then that should be.
Yeah, but if you specifically on a 3 hour, say it's.
That's what I don't understand though, is, like, even when I was looking for gas, if it didn't show up on the map, I was well in tune with my area, that I knew what I had, what was installed, what was getting moved, and I know that these guys float in and out of areas and everything, but I don't understand how if they're out there, they can't say, oh, well, we got charter here. Why can't he make a phone call and say, hey, there is charter out here, is there any way we can track it back? Instead of going, well, I ain't got it, screw it.
It's got the power in them, it's got, telephone,
Right.
it doesn't have.
So now you're gonna waste our time of going back out there, their time. Another 3 days, stuff's going behind because you went out there and said something.
Well, this is a big problem. And I know 811's had issues because they'll see 3-hour locate tickets cleared in 5 minutes after the 3-hour locate request has been requested, knowing that nobody's, they came
Then you
crank
get
the
the
truck
locators
in
that go,
5
well, there's
minutes.
nothing on my map.
But the ticket time has, because it's already been cleared by artificial intelligence, it doesn't send it out again and puts out the same notice. Those are problems. That's just a problem.
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
I was gonna ask about why was the line not locatable? Did they not have the stuff to track it, or is it because of other stuff that was installed around it? I'll give you an example. Is we have 12-inch ductile iron line that used to be trackable all day long, but now there's so many utilities around it, we can't get a solid signal on that ductile iron line. So now it's non-trackable, even though it was trackable when it was installed.
Yeah, these are new facilities that are put in that do not have any electronic locating. You can't locate them electronic.
No tracer wire, no
They
shit.
don't have tracer wires. They're not shielded.
So they didn't put the original necessary stuff in it with it.
Correct.
That's correct.
All right.
Or they chose to use a cable that is not electronically locatable.
I got you. I just know as more utilities get in, even with the new ones that we have, in some places even put guardrails right on top of it, and the guardrail wants to steal your signal all day long. But if that's not the case, and they never even put the initial, that's on them.
That's correct.
All right, so the next meeting is going to be July the 29th, and if Enbridge will let us, we'll meet here again. Thank you, ITS, again for the meal. So if somebody would like to pick it up next month, please come up and let us know, and we'll be happy to accept that. All right? Thanks, everybody, for being here. Yes, sir.